Welcome back to the Star Ladder ImbaTV Invitational. We are in the grand finals. We've only had one of the potentially 5 games here today. We have OpTic with their backs against the ropes a little bit, at least after that last game. VGJ.Thunder is the one with 1 point on the board, here with Tsunami as well as Winter. We were very, we were maybe a little bit harsh on OpTic and they're losing. We were criticizing Quinn a lot, CCNC. How do you feel, like, what do you want to see from him coming game 2?
Forget about game 1. And
Forget about game 1.
Yeah, and play game 2.
And play game 2, all right.
I mean, we saw what he was capable of in the previous series.
Yes, we did.
We know where his ceiling is.
We know it's high.
Yeah, but the problem is that I guess this time Pycat was the relationship between the CCNC mid and the Pycat carry always involves, I guess, either you're going to be very conservative on CCNC and give Pycat a very greedy hero, or you're going to be extremely flashy on CCNC and then give Pycat a creep hitting hero.
Yeah.
They went for the Lina Phantom Lancer combination in the previous series. But here, the Venomancer pick didn't really fit in. And that's what I was initially optimistic about in the draft, but...
Well, it did work out in the start.
Because
if you're VGJ.Thunder...
maybe it didn't fit their team, but I thought it fit the draft, actually. I could understand why they did it.
Right.
But maybe if it was another team playing it, they would have found a balance between the Venom and the SF player
exactly.
to be able to pull off the win. I mean, OpTic, they were pretty close at in certain points of the game to,
to win.
To win the game, especially the Roshan fight.
Yeah, but it seems like the defining factor of how good is your team is how successful are you at sieging high ground.
True.
And pretty much every single series at this tournament I've seen so many comebacks off the product of a failed high ground push.
So no Veno this time?
No Veno this time.
The respect.
Because VGJ.Thunder, sure, they won previous game, but they can't be too happy with winning because obviously the start of that game was not going their way.
Veno is a very strong hero. I think Veno is like a bit underlooked by teams. During DAC, we saw like LGD brought the hero into attention when they picked it as kind of like a replacement to the Underlord. You build all the team items, you're a tank, you run up to the enemy team. Hi, I'm Venomancer. I'm here to click my R button. Please focus me. I click my mag, I click my pipe, I click my Crimson Guard. I'm just here to absorb all the damage, which is what Underlord does. He's like the replacement, and I think Veno does provide other things like vision because of the Veno wards.
Yeah.
And he pressures the carry. If you have a weak, if your carry is a weak laner.
Death Prophet instantly locked in there for VGJ.Thunder.
That was what I expected in the previous game.
Yeah, when you ban out Age Deparation.
But Tusk is still in the game.
He is.
How are you going to let VGJ.Thunder get Tusk?
They kind of want to pick the Tusk.
Yeah, they could.
I feel, but Tusk ain't that great against DP. That's like the problem.
Yeah.
If DP is mid, you don't really want to gang him with Tusk because you roll in, he just like Spirit Siphon, drains your HP, then what? Usually teams, I think, prefer to go for maybe a Nyx against DP. That's what I see like VP like to do, or some of the CIS teams like to do. They do still like go for the Tusk. Like you say, they don't really want to give it to Thunder.
Yeah.
But it's not a great matchup, Tusk against DP, I tell you that.
Yeah, I agree. Although they do leave the Rubik in for OpTic. They ban out the AA, which has been the go-to.
Underlord is still also in a game.
You think they'll go back for it? I don't think 33 was really...
Yeah, I agree. It's not the hero. It's like he doesn't feel comfortable with the hero.
Exactly.
It's not the issue with the hero, but more of the player-hero combination.
Yeah, because you had mentioned in the previous series, like pretty much every single time he was rifting out, he was always rifting back to the fountain.
Yeah, he could have rifted. Some rifts could have gone to the shrine. Some rifts could have gone backwards to the creep way behind for re-engage.
VGJ.Thunder saw Zai on the Earthshaker and is like, well, that actually worked out quite okay. Let's pick it for ourselves.
Yeah, they kind of function quite similar in some ways. Like you can use your fissure to secure the off-lane farm. You can save with the fissure. But you're much better team fight than Tusk, I would say. Like with the Echo Slam and your chain.
Is this going to be a 4-position shaker, or is Yang going to play it? Because both have.
Yeah, I mean, that was quite a long time ago, I think.
Yeah, it was.
But I would say it's more or less going to be a support shaker. I'm not a fan of a core shaker. Since
Enchant got nerfed quite a bit. Mana cost is a little bit too intense to be able to sustain in the offlane.
We got PPD's Rubik banned out. We've seen him play him a lot today.
Because they want Underlord. You don't want Underlord against Rubik, I tell you.
Surely, then, if you're OpTic, you're gonna ban out Underlord.
Or they want the Underlord still. I'm not sure. Like Underlord is definitely a hero that it's gonna be in both of the teams' minds. You know,
What happened to Sand King? Why does Sand King fall off the face of the planet all the time?
too many nerfs, perhaps. Like small nerfs, like not huge nerfs, but all the small nerfs and teams have been experimenting. Like Earthshaker, there's like a Slada on occasion.
Slardars, yeah. And the Centaurs.
Yeah. But still, I think the hero has its place though. Still, it's still like pretty useful at like farming jungle. He's the only one that can actually jungle, like among all the heroes that we mentioned.
And his laning presence is much stronger against melee heroes compared
Yeah,
to a lot
the
of those other
caustic.
ones. Aside from Shaker, but again, we don't really see core Shaker very frequently.
PJ fan, good luck. Good luck indeed.
Yeah.
Hopefully he carries. He gets a better hero that can carry. Like,
Yeah, better hero that can carry, yeah, exactly.
We've seen in the previous series a lot of Beastmaster. What needs to happen for OpTic to pick it in this series? Like, what's the perfect scenario for a 3-3 to play that?
Do they give it to 3-3 very frequently? I
But yeah,
feel like
they-
I don't
they
see Beastmaster or
They
OpTic.
play sometimes, but very.
We saw it earlier today. It was very successful.
Yeah, it's
though.
not like a priority.
Right.
though. So
That
like
was
for
against the
them.
Fnatic. Part of it, I
was.
think, was because it was a denial pick against Universe.
Okay.
I mean, I think the hero is definitely really good because you
Yes.
are really strong in the laning phase. You provide vision, your BKB piercing stun, your catch, your wave clear. It does a lot of things. So the Underlord is not banned. Thunder chose to take out the Life Stealer.
Which is also a counter towards the Underlord, right?
Yeah.
In the lane, I guess, in some ways, but I think when Underlord gets items, he's also like going to limit a lot of the damage coming out from Lifestealer, whether you are going the Armlet Desol build or you're going the Radiance build, because he's either way, if you're going Radiance, he's going to just buy a pipe for that.
Well, they get a Witch Doctor for PPD.
Good lanes. This is like a pretty much straightforward for that. They're going to have fairly solid lanes with Witch Doctor, Razor, Tusk, with any of the off lane, any pressure lane. OpTic looking to just like have much stable lanes this time around against Thunder. Like Earthshaker is, even though I mentioned like you can use the Fissure to secure the off lane, but he's not as strong as Tusk in the laning phase at securing kills. He's much more defensive.
Mm-hmm. VGJ.Thunder thinking about their next pick. Surely they could secure the Underlord for themselves if they want to.
They could, but I for some reason, I feel like
They're getting baited into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lane is going to be really hard because it's a Razor Witch Doctor lane. That lane is awful for him. Even though Earthshaker might Fissure and get him like level 2, level 3, but he can easily die in it unless they put him in the safe lane and they go aggro with Earthshaker +1, plus another support with a carry. That would be the other possibility if they
But would they
want.
do that?
That's a pretty heavy investment for an Underlord.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
usually,
but if a Underlord gets fed, you more or less have a very good chance of winning the game from there.
Perhaps they want to make the purple guy happy. Another Darkseer.
A reappearance.
Oh.
That purple guy. Sorry, there's multiples, of course.
Bane, Witch Doctor, which one?
Faceless Void.
Yeah, Faceless Void.
No, but they are taking heavily into their bonus time. This is all they have left.
If they want a 5 here, they go back for the Lion. To me, I think this has been like the upcoming position 5 hero
Mhm.
Yeah.
since all the buffs that he's received.
Yeah. And we saw DDC in the previous game online. It was a good one, solid performance. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
DDC is a solid player regardless, but
But
Lion suits him very well.
I'm not a fan of how poor he got that game though.
How
I
poor
felt-
he got.
Yeah, I felt like Lion needs some farm priority because Night Stalker was getting all the items at the start and he got a very
Yeah.
late Blink Dagger.
But that's DDC's way of playing, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, but Lion then play Disruptor, you know. I know. Yeah, but the thing is like Lion, you want to get like a Blink or in some occasions I've seen teams that build drums, Glimmer, but you still like or buy a 4-stuff on the hero, you know. You still buy items on Lion. Lion does a lot with farm. But same goes for Earthshaker, so it can be like a really difficult toss-up between the two.
I feel like VGJ.Thunder really want to pick a Doom, but they need an excuse to do it. And right now, OpTic Gaming haven't shown any cores yet. Otherwise, I think they would have picked a third if they had some other core that was worthwhile.
Why do you think they want to pick a Doom?
I don't think that they're too keen on the Underlord. I think that they want to give Yang something that moves around a little bit earlier on and causes more trouble to any potential late game core. I think Underlord's really strong in the laning phase, but I think having the ultimate Doom is a better offensive tool than Firestorm.
You see that hero and you think, if only we had a Brute player. If only we can play Brute Mother, then we can punish them. But no, no.
Maybe they've been secretly practicing.
I mean, I remember Yang plays Brute Mother back in like some time ago, but they haven't really picked it for him.
Oh, they're gonna pick Batrider for him this time.
Yep.
That's another hero that he used to play a lot and hasn't really been seen that much this tournament.
He's been playing Batrider against Brute a lot, I tell you that, and getting run down. But it's really good against the Visage.
Why?
You break the layers
Gravekeeper's cloak.
Yeah, of the cloak. You focus him out
Mm-hmm.
in the fights.
The only thing is the birds, if positioned well, could stun him out.
And
since
it's a really good lane matchup against the Razor. It pretty much removes the lane dominance factor that Razor is going to bring to the table because of the sticky napalm spam. Then you can kill him with the Firefly. So they might want to think about switching the Razor if they can, like switching the Razor to the off lane and pick another. Or they just go for aggro lane and put another hero against the Batrider because Visage doesn't want to play against Batrider as well. They take out the Gyro. Thunder wants to finish up that draft with like a carry hero.
yeah, Gyro
I guess
very good
Syla's
against
gonna play.
Visage.
I guess Syla's gonna play the DP. I think.
Yeah, we never really know for sure, of course.
Yeah, I think mostly he's gonna play the DP. Oh, they've learned. They have learned.
They have learned. They banned out the Brute Mother.
Which, granted, I don't think it's that bad of a Broodmother matchup if you have Batrider or something like that go mid.
But Batrider doesn't even lane that well against Brute.
No, it's not, yeah.
You still get crushed.
It's a backup plan.
So what is Mr. Freeze going to play here?
What are they lacking, you feel? Because they got some tower push, they got the catch.
I mean, Gyro would have been good because of the birds from the Visage. You can kill it. Yeah. Weaver?
River, the other bug.
So I think
I guess
it's Freeze Death Prophet then.
Freeze might play the... Yeah, I don't know. Actually don't know. I don't know. I prefer Syla on Death
Yeah, I know you would. But does
Prophet.
ROTK prefer that? That's all that matters in the end.
That is indeed the question.
I guess they don't have really good lockdown for a mobile hero like Weaver, and Weaver could have been a good pick for OpTic maybe as well. They against the Batrider if they want to do like a Weaver, Batrider, Razor offlane kind of situation.
Could do Lone Druid for OpTic.
Lone Druid, not bad for the lane against Batrider.
I wonder what's up with all the seagulls.
I mean, the decision is to either put the Razor off lane or just leave the lane matchup that way and have the Witch Doctor babysit him more and just pick like a more like maybe a team fighter to balance out their draft day.
I mean, in the previous series, we saw a Weaver get absolutely destroyed by Razor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do like the Razor offlane, you kind of have like a bit of like an imbalanced draft where you are going to have
An
lacking in-
underfarmed
yeah.
frontliner kind
No,
of.
I mean lacking in team fight because you won't really have much team fight.
Well, when you pick a Visage, how interested are you in teamfight to be? Oh, well.
Hey, it is a purple boy. Purple boy. Void.
Not bad, not bad. So it's an off lane. Is it the? Oh, it's an off. No.
It's Freeze Death
I
Prophet.
guess Queen might play off lane Razor this game, and Neha might go mid with the Visage. Might be the case. Oh, Freeze is playing DP.
Freeze is playing Death Prophet.
Freeze is playing Death Prophet, but
Tsunami, I'll go for you first. Let Winter think a little bit. Who do you think is going to take the second game?
I haven't seen very much Batrider recently.
We have not.
And I think there's a very specific reason why you pick it, and I don't really see the reason in
this
this
is a
game.
good Batrider game, man. I tell you, this
Based
is a
on
good
what?
This is a good Batrider because the lane will be he'll have a good lane,
Yeah.
and
Go on.
he's gonna want to initiate on the Visage every time. I think his job in this game is to single out the Visage,
Okay.
take him out of the fights.
So you're
and
thinking VGJ.Thunder.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have this.
Okay, what do you think, Tsunami? You're going to join him?
Whatever, I'll go.
Whatever. You
I'll
can't give up. There's no such thing as whatever.
Fine, I will go OpTic.
All right. I went OpTic previous game, and I was proven wrong. I'll go for Winter this time. VGJ.Thunder. You convinced me. Let's find out what's going to happen in the second game of the Grand Finals with Lyrical and Gods.
Thank you so much, Sheever. Gods, there's a little bit of capitulation going on the panel and a little bit of back and forth as well. But your thoughts of this? You're a Visage player. You love it. What do you think, man?
Can be good. Always like playing against Death Prophet. There's a few heroes where it just feels like you kind of melt them once you get your birds up, and Death Prophet is one of those. Always nice when you can just sick the birds on him and not get close where he can Spirit Siphon you. So we'll see if the Visage there works. It does mess with their lanes a bit. Looks like 33 is the Visage player like the Brood, so that's going to put CCNC into the off lane, which may be slightly out of his normal comfort zone, but he is playing a Razor, which is not out of his comfort zone. As he got to have his fun last game with SF, but he's back to the boring heroes this time around.
Back to the boring heroes, and they're just going to pause real quickly, solve some issues. But yeah, it's something that we were talking about a little bit while the panel was talking about as well. Kind of a cool little laning thing that you can do there where you have the static link going and then maybe you extend it a little bit longer with some shards or a snowball or what have you. But it's also going to be against a Weaver, which is a very elusive hero.
Yeah, this is actually the exact matchup they had against Fnatic, I believe, the Tusk Razor. The lane worked out fantastic for them. The limitations came later when they didn't have good control, lockdown initiation, but the Void pick kind of makes up for that, and that's where the Void really pulls their draft together pretty nicely, giving them a big teamfight initiation tool, giving them also a scaling hero out of it, and something that can help lock down and deal with this Weaver. So very much like the Void pick. We'll see if they can have the same success with their lane dominance with the Tusk Razor off lane.
Definitely. And, well, we do see some movement right now. It looks like the Tusk and the Visage are going up topside with Mr. Razor. They're going to try and secure themselves a rune. Well, meanwhile, bottom down here, Yang also going to try and secure a rune.
Yep. I believe Tusk blocking the pull camp up top. He may have been scouted planting that ward, although the sentry wasn't used immediately, so I'm not entirely sure if that was the case. Lanes look pretty much what we expected. We'll see the Bat Rider in the off lane having his lane secured by the Earthshaker. We'll see the Razor in the off lane having his lane secured by the Tusk. He can help pull the wave back and also maybe even just pull the wave from behind the tower. And mid lane will be the Visage versus Death Prophet matchup. I say what we expected. There's some lane shenanigans happening, so not the standard lanes, as Yang will head top.
Interesting, interesting. And this is something that OpTic aren't fully going to be expecting, but now that they're going to spot out the movement in from Sylar, they realize they've been bamboozled a little bit. Pycat able to get that bounty rune, so OpTic going to secure what looks to be 4 runes again.
Yeah, they
Well, there's one up there.
We'll see if anyone actually gets it. Tusk wants to do the shard before he picks it up, it looks like. And Razor like, am I mid? They're swapping. They're chasing around. They don't want to TP because if you put your TP on cooldown, that's a big problem because then your opponents just TP to swap the lanes up. And the fact they're swapping not just like bottom to mid or top to mid means it's a long walk all the way across the map. It doesn't matter now for OpTic because it's like the first wave, but we won't see Sylar making the trek across the map, I feel. That's just too big of a deficit to his lane stage farm if you make such a long walk.
Yeah, maybe if there's a kill or something, you could see a TP or a walk back into lane in that fashion or something. But for now, at least, this is going to be the setup, and it looks like Witch Doctor helping out CCNC as top lane. Again, the Bat Rider going to try and put in work up there.
They really wanted this Void versus the Bat. The time dilation gives you a really strong slow against him. It's going to have magic one charge. It should be able to farm pretty well. It's definitely not like a hard counter to the Bat. We'll see Yang get plenty of CS as well as experience out of this lane. He's not under too much danger, but I think for OpTic, they just feel like they're going to have a slightly better lane stage with this.
Yeah, Void and the Tusk up there as well. So meanwhile, Fade trying to battle it out with Mr. PPD. They went for a side pull, but weren't quite able to get it. The Witch Doctor harassing with that, and well, Fade throwing out fissures every now and then as well, which means that CCNC going to take some of these creeps underneath the tower, and we'll see if they can keep the pressure on in this one. Weaver, a hero that we've only seen one other time in this tournament, also the Bat Rider only one other time. Anything really stick out to you that we need to watch out for in this game from them?
I'm a big fan of Weaver as a hero, but this game, I think it was just kind of picked up as a stable carry. Wow, first blood, Sylar getting the kill as Shaker goes down the other way there. Definitely a strong laning hero, which is partly why I think VGJ wanted to get the Weaver.
100%. 100%. And, well, we do see one other scene in this tournament, also the Bat Rider only one other time. Anything really stick out to you that we need to watch out for in this game from them?
I'm a big fan of Weaver as a hero, but this game, I think it was just kind of picked up as a stable carry. Wow, first blood, Sylar getting the kill as Shaker goes down the other way there. Definitely a strong laning hero, which is partly why I think VGJ wanted to get the Weaver.
Yeah. Definitely helps out a lot there. And that first blood, very much what you would want to start off the game there. So VGJ.Thunder, a little bit of a lead there at the very beginning of it. And it looks like they're going to walk the Witch Doctor back to lane, actually, stacking up a couple of camps as he goes along the way. And PyCat, so far, 3-0. He has not had the best of times so far.
Yeah.
No points in time dilation yet.
A bit surprising they kind of sent him up there thinking he'd have a better time, but it is very much not the case. And instead, they're going to give CCNC the safe lane where...
Oh, mid lane, though, this is the rotation where, like you said, they want to put the emphasis on trying to mess with Freeze's day. So a Maledict, the full block off, and Freeze going to die. PPD getting the kill.
Not an easy kill. They had to bring 3 heroes, both supports for it. Visage not normally leveling up the Soul Assumption early on, doesn't have any points in it, but did get the Blightstone, which is a pretty nice boost to that damage output from the gank, and does help out Visage, who was slightly behind on CS. Death Prophet, I mean, Visage against a lot of 1v1 mids does lose the CS battle, since he can really just grave chill hero there and try and use that to help him last hit, but it's not exactly a lane winner, but he does suddenly swing back his way once he hits level 6.
Yeah. Well, and I guess you could also say that even though, oh, another block off here, Freeze turning with the Spirit Siphon, Soul Assumption, lots of damage, and the rotation in from Fade as well as DDC means that OpTic has to stop the party, but that's 2 support rotations.
Yep. It's also the end of the Spirit Siphons for now, so 30 seconds cooldown before there's another one, which means Freeze has to play very cautiously here in the mid lane.
Strength of Tusk in the mid lane with that full block off on the ramp, and also going to be able to not quite catch the block there onto Fade.
There's a regen room bottom lane. We'll see if anyone scouts that or grabs it who could have a big impact from it. Syla's actually going to be the one going in and snagging it.
Yep. Nice pickup for him. We also saw in the top lane that the Batrider got dropped very low when he was diving the tower and had to walk back to the shrine as well, or rather to base, I believe, and now back near the shrine. But he's
got Tranquil Boots, so can actually heal back up pretty well, but without much mana, PyCat has finally got some peace to farm in his lane, as I think OpTic fans would love to see PyCat doing.
Zai, hexed for the moment. They've got the fissures. Zai is going to snowball the creep wave and still has the bug on him, though, so that is going to be a dead Tusk.
Yep. Kill ends up getting snagged by DDC. Not maybe the optimal choice, but not the end of the world for them. And we'll see whether or not CCNC can continue to farm in this lane after that. Looks like he should be just fine.
And back mid again, they're looking to try and make something happen there as PyCat just going to jump away from top. It was Tusk and the Witch Doctor in the area, but they're going to now rotate down bottom, it looks like. And, I mean, that roaming support combo seems so freaking strong, as long as they can just stick onto a target.
Yeah, having the Maledict even just level 1 early on has proven very, very effective. And they're back mid. Both teams with 3 heroes apiece in the mid lane, really prioritizing securing their mid lanes, a good early game start. It's nice going to have that help as a Visage, but you also want to make sure you get that level 6 as early as possible. You're probably telling your supports, like, don't come too close. I really need this experience, because once those birds come online, the kill potential is suddenly much higher.
Sylar caught in there by the shards and doing a lot of damage to him, forced all the way back. Meanwhile, PyCat again just going to jump away from the Batrider. So far, CS-wise, it's looking kind of even in a lot of these lanes after the initial rough start for the Faceless Void.
Yep, not much separating the 2 teams in terms of the early game. CSing, Visage will TP back just to his tower to make sure that he can get on the right side of the fissure. As his level 6 fast approaches, and he's going to have that fast medallion. It's kind of what you want to have for the kill potential with your bird. 3 points in Grave Chill. Freeze is going to have a very tough time laning against this. Does have his boots coming out, which will help a little bit, but still tough.
Mid going for the fissure. They get the block, but he summons, and the Exorcism is there as well. They're starting to take him down low. It's not up and online, the ulti from the Visage, so can't tank through those Exorcism spirits.
That's a great fissure, knowing that he can block off the escape in those trees.
DDC gets a little bit of a force away there, as meanwhile the Batrider throw the lasso, I thought I heard.
Yeah, the mid lane, he was kind of using it defensively to escape from Zai. Also got brought pretty low. CCNC actually going to be the one swinging to the mid lane. I'm not sure if Visage feels too good about that. He doesn't have a TP upon respawn thanks to the previous gank where he TP'd to his tower after getting fissure block. So really good movements coming out from the Earthshaker. trying to bully and secure this mid lane. Freeze with almost a level advantage over 3-3.
So first couple of ultimates come out for both teams now. PyCat level 7 can make a rotation if he wants to with a Chronosphere. But again, 3-3, just kidding. Sort of the Fisher pumping.
It's like, you walk forward, I'm going to get you. I don't, yeah, that did not quite block it off.
I mean, do you think that you need to make a rotation as the Faceless Void, or does he just want to keep farming in this one?
There's not really a great hero to dish out damage in Chronosphere right now. If you can place it perfectly on the edge, the birds can do good damage. But there's no easy nukes and damage to dish it out. Plasma Field is really the best damage to put into a Chronosphere, which is saying something that until Witch Doctor gets level 6, perhaps Chronosphere is going to be just used in a more solo way by PyCat.
Yeah. CCNC, he gets the static link off, broken by Sylar with the time lapse, and he is going to run away as they try and bring this guy down. They've got a Fissure to block, and that looks like a very dead Razor to me.
Again, it's Fade, showing that this Shaker is not a forgotten hero for these two teams.
They got Freeze. My God, that medallion damage, you weren't joking.
It's a different hero. It's like, you know, Lion, you get Finger of Death at level 6, and that's like as a hero, and you can suddenly burst someone down. That's Visage, but, you know, there's no cooldown. Birds are always there. So you do not want to go near this guy when he's got those birds up. Grave Chill, a great slow and setup, empowering those birds with the extra movement attack speed as well. So scary stuff. He does lose a bird in the tower dive, something that is always pretty annoying and hurts a bit as a Visage to lose a bird that early on when you can't resummon yet.
Yeah.
It's going to limit his ability to kill the Death Prophet a second time. I say that, but maybe not the Death Prophet. It could be DDC's Lion they go for instead.
They're going after him for sure, but now they've caught themselves a Visage. Stoneform is out. There's going to be the Cask that starts to bounce as well. The Fissure connects onto 3-3. Jump forward, Chronosphere. Wall to Exorcism is going. Needs to bring him down before those ghosts go out a second time, but they do manage to find him. CCNC ran away from Sylar as well as Fade, trying to take down this Faceless Void, but he's able to jump away as well. So all of OpTic, fine and dandy, as they take down the DP.
Yep. Great cast. PPD's cast buys Visage the time to get back to the high ground, back to safety, and then also the bird stun drop. Not having two birds made it a little bit harder, but he still got out of there, and that was an Exorcism commit as well. Thunder really thought they had an opening there to go in with the lasso. But definitely a hard hero to crack and bring down with all the extra movement speed and help that we saw Visage get.
PyCat just punching Yang a few times, time dilation as well, but it's just a battle for the rune. And the one's PyCat going to win is Fade. Soul Assumption and the right clicks. Even with one bird, he's getting it done.
Yep. He's got his cooldown back up, so yeah, should see it resummoned, and he'll good to go with the double bird. Helm the Dominator coming out. Doesn't get before 10 minutes because of the medallion. Sometimes you see the Helm rush on Visage just because you can get it pre-10 minutes and have double siege, push a tower. With the build he's gone, he doesn't get the double siege push going, but that's not the end of the world, as he's been getting several kills instead. Another
jump forward there. Zai has the shards out, but they're not going to decide to chase for this one since it was mass rotations from VGJ.Thunder.
Visage.
He's blocked off. This could be a problem for him. They go into Stoneform with the second bird. 3-3 is still fairly tanky and is waiting for the Fissure to wear off. Has a Soul Assumption as well if he wants to throw it, but it doesn't go off there. And now the Cask bouncing. DDC is maledicted, but not enough damage. And, well, VGJ.Thunder bring everybody.
They really recognize this Visage as the problem hero in the early game. It's the tempo hero that OpTic want to play around. It's the hero that kind of puts their draft in a little bit more of a timer. As far as how you can snowball off of a good Visage early game, and ganking him again, they keep on trying to focus him down. They bring down his birds, which is a really big amount of damage to dish to him when he doesn't have them up again. It's a couple hundred gold and a very important cooldown. So constant aggression mid lane. I feel like we're always seeing like 6-7 heroes around this mid lane every time the two teams are ready to go at it again.
We do also have PyCat going into the Mask of Madness, so whereas they didn't have that much damage to pump into the Chronosphere before, he now has at least some amount of it. His top lane, they're looking for CCNC. Sylar there, they get the bugs onto him, and the chase coming from Yang, that is a dead Razor.
Yeah, nice little gank here, but here come OpTic with a Chrono.
Able to catch onto two. Nice combo there as Zai looking to maybe snowball through these guys. If they want to decide to turn this one, there's going to be the snowball save? Nope, they're holding on to it. Zai is going to fall here as Freeze chases forward for it. PyCat Does have the jump away if he wants to use it now. Trying to
Doesn't
escape.
get far enough away.
They are going to have vision of him. Bugs again on top of this guy, and the dead Faceless Void.
Very, very big kills. Great aggression from VGJ.Thunder. The nice smoke gank kills the Razor. OpTic thinking they can respond. The Mask Command is a great pickup when you need a fight and your teammates don't dish out good damage in a Chronosphere, since you kind of in that point where it's like, well, if I want to Chrono and fight early, as is the nature of these games with its aggression, you've got to get the Mask of Madness.
Mid lane yet again. They're looking for the Visage. See if they can catch that guy. And
he's getting killed.
They got him.
I mean, he's turning
They
around
didn't take
a
it.
1v4, but he gets the Shaker before he dies, which is nice and all, but he does still die once again. And once again, he does not have his Summon Familiar spell available. So, small win for Thunder, even though Shaker does die.
And now VGJ.Thunder, they've got the Blink Dagger on the Bat Rider. Everything is working the way that they want it to. I mean, are they under any pressure at all to try and get stuff done? Or are they happy with just sort of finding kills as they come?
Oh, this team doesn't want to farm. They love rotating. They love fighting. Every time X says them up, we're just seeing all the heroes move around the map. I feel like we've seen Bat Rider in all 3 lanes. I've seen Weaver in all 3 lanes. Death Prophet's been top and mid. Like, all the cores are not sticking to their lanes. Not a single Vici Gaming Thunder hero is like, I'm just going to farm and secure my team the late game.
Yeah.
Everyone is like, let's go gank. Let's keep moving. Let's keep putting OpTic under pressure.
Speaking of pressure, PyCat back behind the tower. 30 seconds until Chrono as PPD. They do have vision of him right now, but I mean, you don't want to jump on just the Witch Doctor.
Even Sylar's item build, rushing the Diffusal this game, really signaling they want to keep being aggressive. That's the item that is like the most effective fighting item.
He's got vision right now into PyCat, and there's going to be the pullback in. They do have level 6 on Fade as well. Echo Slam is used. PyCat dropping like a rock, and now they've been able to find themselves another. Fade might be in trouble as it looks like he is going to fall. DDC also taking Maledict damage, but it looks like he lives through this one. One last hit, just barely there.
Close.
And with that, VGJ.Thunder very happy to lose the Earthshaker for the Faceless Void.
Yeah, this Void is the kind of late game insurance policy. You feel like if you're in VGJ shoes, you've killed this Visage enough. OpTic aren't snowballing off of the early game, the strong laning stage. Visage in kind of farm catch-up mode is a Visage that's not really doing what the pick was intended to do. So if you can gank the Void now and kind of kill off the backup plan for OpTic's draft, the late game plan, then you're in an even better position. That's exactly what they did at bottom. And X is even back up. So we may even see Freeze and the rest of VGJ go for another aggressive move fairly soon.
Possibly going to look for some of those objectives. They do see the Faceless Void up there in the top lane with the deep ward that VGJ.Thunder have gotten.
Yep, and they likely know he TP'd up there, so without a TP, this bottom tier 1 tower should be free for the taking. Even with just 2 heroes down there, I don't think OpTic will want to defend it.
And the early Diffusal Blade. We saw the Weaver played earlier today go for that Lincoln Sphere. This is a get up in your face type of build as you were mentioning before.
The really nice thing is if you disable him with line up here, you can maybe kill him off with all the mana burn.
They're looking for it top lane right now. Void gets Hex. They're going to have a follow-up as well as they're starting to get the bugs on him. Dropped so freaking low. PyCat. Wow. No answer.
I'm actually surprised that Weaver got the experience game. Normally you see the Diffusal Blade stacking with the mana break, going for the mega mana burn build, but wants to get those later game talents as fast as possible.
Mid-game yet again, they do have PPD caught by Freeze, the Yule Scepter lift up, and that is a Witch Doctor in some trouble, maybe? Possibly? Leave him there.
So I was like, all right, you don't want to commit, I will.
Time-lapse and pulling the, well, Tusk pretty far underneath the tower. He is going to drop from that one. They take down Zai, and now pulling back the Visage. Not quite there. PPD ulti from the low ground onto Yang with the Maledict on him. Might do some substantial damage. I believe that 3-3 lost his Helm of the Dominator siege creep, though.
Oh, he lost that. He also lost his birds under the tower trying to get some kills, which, again, Visage without those birds doesn't really feel like a hero in some ways. And that's where OpTic going to be forced back. But they do get the tier 1 tower, so some damage done as VGJ kind of reset here. Perhaps looking to give some farm time to Fade on the Earthshaker to get a Blink Dagger into play.
Well, there's another catapult there, but right now Visage is over on the other side.
Yeah.
So no desire to go for that one. 8-13, 3,000 gold lead right now for VGJ.Thunder. And Exorcism wasn't used in that last one, right? Sylar?
It was not, no. Sylars should be fine in the trees here. They definitely don't have great catch and control outside of the Chronosphere for a Weaver, which makes this game pretty good for Sylar to play. If he can kind of keep tabs of where Void is on the map, he should be pretty safe, split pushing, farming, fighting.
Good decision right there by Zai to snowball as soon as he saw the Batrider, so that he won't get caught out of position. And CCNC continuing to push top. If they want to, they could come back to try and defend this.
I think with the Void kind of missing, that's the hero they're a bit worried about. They say that Sylar pokes his head out and Void maybe gonna come in from behind. He's above the tier 1 tower thanks to this calling play.
Bycat finds him right there. There's going to be the Chronosphere. TP rotations coming in from VGJ.Thunder, but already that Weaver is dead. Now, can they turn this around any further as CCNC taking a lot of damage there, and it looks like he is going to drop. But it is a kill onto Sylar nonetheless, and looks like they're going to give up their captain for it as well.
Punish for it kind of feels like it's just okay for OpTic to do that. It's one of those like kind of gambles you play in these games where you feel you're a little bit behind. You know you can get the kill, you don't know if you can get out. You're almost just like gambling on the fact your opponents may not react quickly. Like you're saying, okay, we can get this kill, let's hope Thunder don't all TP in and punish us. And even if they do, we can get out and hopefully not lose too many. So it's one of those kind of calculated risks which you're more likely to take when you're kind of suffering a bit in the early game, behind on kills, behind on farm. And killing off the big carry Weaver, the main right-click damage. This game definitely feels good if you're in OpTic shoes, although losing the Razor for it perhaps feels not as good.
Definitely.
They've got double BKB coming, though that's going to be the big fighting point for OpTic. BKB on Razor as well as Void. He had the Shadow Blade queued up and changed his mind, went back for BKB instead, feeling like they really need this. There's silences, there's Batrider damage, there's Earthshaker, Lion, so much control, so much magic damage. This is definitely the game for BKBs.
Yeah, stay alive. To me, at least, it feels like the VGJ.Thunder draft scales pretty well into the late game as well in comparison to the OpTic. Like, are OpTic just completely averse to taking this super late, or is Void that X factor?
Yeah, they've kind of got this mix of early game / mid game dominance in the Visage with the late game strength of the Void, so it is a bit balanced. But at the same time, Visage is not a hero that wants to go late game, so I think there's also that kind of contradiction with what their draft is trying to do, with take a ton of towers and control the mid game versus also, you know, go late game with a Void. I think the idea was more, let's win early on, use the Void for his team fight, but that didn't work because Visage kind of got set behind, so now they're in this, well, we couldn't win the early to mid game, let's go late game with our Void and Razor with BKBs and take team fights around the Magic community.
Well, right now, a smoke up through the jungle from VGJ.Thunder. They just completed a Blink Dagger onto Fade. 20 minutes in on that one. And looking for an opening here. Visage is in the mid lane. 3-3 there. And a scan hits. Yeah, OpTic know what's going on.
Very hard game for 33 now that he's behind. Batrider's always going to be gunning for him. If he gets lassoed, even if he finishes like this pipe, you very quickly lose your Gravekeeper's Cloak, and Visage with his base magic resistance being what it is, 10%, it's absolutely one of the squishiest heroes to magic damage in the game. Or the squishiest hero to magic damage in the game and without his cloak.
Highcat is over there on the side as well. They see the illusion of the Batrider. Maybe looking for a usage of this Chronosphere as they pop the drums.
Wanted to charge forward, but instead we'll be looking at Roshan, something they can kill very quickly. Bird's Medallion, even the Alpha Wolf, which was dominated, the perfect creep for this. Will get scouted. Perhaps a little bit too late, but no, they get antsy. They don't want to commit to this.
It's so scary.
VGJ.Thunder just doing everything right. They scout it just in time. They instantly TP people in, recognizing that they can contest it. And I think OpTic, if they had more vision, they could have actually committed for it. It was just a Weaver scouting it. VGJ were not ready to contest it, so they could have finished it off, but they just didn't feel safe doing so.
The scary thing is now you have Exorcism. This Roche is down at half HP. VGJ.Thunder could potentially go for this.
Yeah, they've effectively lost Roshan and decided they may not want to contest this with Exorcism coming into play.
Easy pickings here for VGJ.Thunder and 3-3. The rest of OpTic, they're moving in, but are they going to get there too late? Roche goes down.
Looked like the call was just not to contest it. Void probably saying, look, I don't have BKB, I need 300, 400 gold. Let's give them an Aegis. If they're going to use Exorcism for it, it also kind of buys two of the 5 minutes of the Aegis time is kind of wasted, so they only get one real push slash team fight with Exorcism during the Aegis.
Pycat looks like he's going to go for a solo kill here onto the Lion. Knows that Exorcism is going to be down, so let's just go for a quick kill.
Yeah, that's your Exorcism down. I may as well throw my Chrono. But
Well, if he gets killed off here, this is...
Yeah.
Well, it should be able to walk away. Pycat turns to fight onto Yang. They do have a little bit of backup, PPD in the area, but so too is Fade and Sylar. The Echo Slam onto 2. They're going to take down the supports, and now Pycat left all alone in some trouble, trying to run. Fade, not going to get him in time. Well,
wow, what a play from Fade. The supports rotating in, caught them both in the Echo Slam. What perfect decision. He could have gone on the Void with that like Blink Echo Slam, but he knew that the supports coming in were going to be the bigger problem. If he goes on the Void, the counterplay from the supports, the damage is also probably not there to kill off the Void. He can just time walk it off. So great decision making as OpTic will be set a little bit further back. Definitely don't mind the Chrono use there from Pycat, as we were saying, kind of, you know, Exorcism down, you don't need the Chronosphere, you don't need to hold on to it. You're also not looking to teamfight when your opponents have an Aegis.
yeah.
The call is very much to kind of split up and farm a bit. Problem is you've gone for these BKBs as kind of fighting items, but forced into a game where you can't fight.
It's tough stuff. And OpTic losing the tier 1 tower in the mid lane in a second here, I believe. The glyph does come out at the last second. But they have only secured themselves the bottom and mid tower. I guess just the 1 tower remaining top lane that feels like they keep on running into. Finally going to get that one in a sec. So with Exorcism, that to be back up as well. VGJ.Thunder, where do they go from here? I guess just towards tier 2 mid, maybe?
They may look to smoke up so they can get a jump out off of the Blink Dagger on Earthshaker, but if not, they can try and just kind of force some of these towers. Find a pick before pushing is going to just make pushing that much bit easier, and that's what Batrider's looking to do. He's flying around. Finds the Razor, who's not really the ideal target to go on. We'll back off for now.
There's also an Aeon Disc completed for the Death Prophet. Fairly early item timing on that one.
It will help a lot against the Chronosphere. If you get gone on, you're not going to just instantly melt. Do the damage. Same thing with the Visage of his birds.
Up top, they found Pycat. The kill onto Sylar. Oh, the time lapse with the bash. He's going to get out just barely by the skin of his teeth. They still have the static link, but the rest of VGJ.Thunder is there. It was so good for a moment. And the Echo Slam again onto the 2 supports. They find Fade doing it yet again for his team. They take down the Void as well. It looked so good, but only for a second. And now 3-3. CCNC trying to stay alive in this one, but they fall yet again. Yang is going to end up going down as well here, but 3 dead for OpTic, and now can they get out with the rest of these heroes? This Exorcism is doing so much damage right now. They resummon the birds actually and turn to fight. Visage doing a lot, but is it enough? It doesn't quite look like it. And this procs, and those birds going to fall.
Yeah, that was the Ags resummon. He had 3 level 3 birds there. They do a lot of damage, but taken out, giving VGJ a team fight victory there. Not a completely one-sided affair. It was a all 5 going down, but they did take out 3 plus an Aegis on the VGJ side. Freeze just proving too difficult to deal with on the Death Prophet. They threw everything at the rest of the VGJ side, and it really cost them with the time-lapse coming out the last second. So unlucky, you know, you're avoiding that Chronosphere, right-clicking away that weave. You're just hoping that you get a bash like around when the Chrono wears off, so you can kind of extend that stun duration, or just for one more bash during Chronosphere would have been enough to kill him off as well. But fortune favored Sylar as he will survive, and with 4,000 gold, he's going to have another big item fairly soon.
That's one of those moments too. It's just like any little thing could have made the difference. Like even like projectile speed on a Razor possibly or something. One more hit was all they needed. And time lapse solved all the problems, and then VGJ.Thunder there.
So showcasing kind of the weaknesses of these builds. Double BKB.
Oh no.
No damage.
And down bottom, CCNC shaded upon again. He pops his BKB, bugs on him. They back out, but another BKB charge down. VGJ.Thunder looking very crisp right now. I like how they've always been rotating just absolutely everybody. They bring the house.
Yeah, they're always ready for OpTic to kind of counterplay them, and We'll see whether or not OpTic try and get on the aggressive themselves. They probably want to wait at least for Visage to have the resummon of the familiars. Chronosphere is back up. Pykat's farm is just not really kept up this game because of the BKB build. Not having a Battle Fury and just spending more time trying to gank and teamfight has really limited what he can do. It just doesn't feel like we're seeing Pykat in his element. When he's playing those farming carries, he's able to kind of put his team on his back in these games where they create space for him.
And now Weaver, going back to that Scotty, he's really becoming that hero that Pykat wants to be. And it feels like it doesn't get a whole lot easier from this point forward for OpTic.
Yep.
Needing to, again, try and take down this Tier 1 tower. It's just happened over and over again. They do finally get it, but...
I almost wonder if we'd start to see OpTic turn this into a split push game with the Visage birds, just have them push out the lane. But for now, they want to fight around them. I mean, he's very strong. These birds do insane amounts of damage to a single target. I say that I love how Freeze is itemized. He's gone for the Solar Crest, an item you don't typically see on Death Prophet much these days, but against a single target right clicker, armor plus evasion is great. And he's going to also then get the Shiver's Guard, so he's going to double down on the extra armor.
Well, again, this is a lineup from VGJ.Thunder that need to be able to come back and deal with the pressure because you do push incredibly fast as OpTic.
It's coming. I mean, they may say, oh, you know, we got X's and we can push too, but favor OpTic's draft for now in a high ground base sieging race, and they are going to indeed camp themselves right outside Thunder's base.
Forcing back VGJ.Thunder. As soon as they see him, everybody backs out now. They could wait around to see if anybody pokes their head out, but it has not really tended to be what's going on with VGJ.Thunder, although scan the Dire, it hits there.
Yeah, they want to know whether they backed off or not. They'd still see 0 heroes bottom to defend. I think Batrider's like, I want to try and catch them on the retreat as they're TPing out, while OpTic's thinking if we end up split up and back catches us, that's a disaster for us. Let's stay here for a little bit longer, use this ward for vision, and see if we can start a fight, but neither team able to get a clean engagement off.
Yep. It's a smoke up instead from VGJ.Thunder, and again, this Earthshaker, Echo Slam ready, and if they find anybody, we can see just how quickly they blow them up, and Zai might be the one who goes down, or possibly CCNC. They're looking for that opening. Zai is there, he gets caught, and that does look like it's a dead Tusk.
Yep. There were just so many heroes he could have maybe caught there.
Oh, and now they've also found the birds yet again. CCNC is up front and center, pops off his own BKB. The jump away from DDC. Yang also trying to run. He finds the Chronosphere. It's onto the Weaver, but do they have enough damage to bring him down in the duration of this? I'm not quite sure if they do. The time lapse is there. And now Freeze walking forward. Aeon Disc pop as well. They get the Echo Slam onto the 2 yet again. They take him down. CCNC Pykat dead. And Freeze also going to fall, but it's going to be 3-3, who's looking like he's going to pay the price as well. So they take down the DP.
He's still got 3 birds here. This could be closer than it looks.
Yeah, he's actually pops the Shrine as well. Sylar having to run. I guess Visage a pretty freaking tanky guy. The movement speed as well on those familiars.
If he has birds alive, you got to be pretty damn careful of fighting into him if you haven't got the damage and control for him. Well, 4 for 3. These Echo Slams. Fade has just been phenomenal on his Earthshaker this game. Catching the support duo a couple times in a row. That one was even bigger, catching the Void in it as well. And even though OpTic kind of cut their losses a bit there in the end with the Visage, it's still their key farmers. The Void and the Raze are the heroes that need farm. Visage is in a great place. You'd much rather the farm and the heroes surviving the fight be those carries.
He went for the Aeon Disc build too, which is kind of cool.
On the Visage.
Yeah.
Yep. Wants to just stay alive, you get Lasso. He's probably the main Lasso target, him and or the Void, but he's the one standing in front while Void kind of comes in later, so he wants to just be able to survive a potential Lasso, and in this scenario maybe even deter a Lasso with the Aeon Disc now completed.
Well, 31 minutes in, Roshan respawning in 13 seconds as PPD going to pick up that Arcane Rune and then bounce out of there.
Going to see a very early level 25 on Visage 2, which is a 4th familiar. Definitely a lineup that doesn't have like amazing ways of dealing with the birds. The Earthshaker with some AoE stuns can help control them, but it's not like there's like the Gyrocopter-esque hero in the game. It's one of those things where those birds run at you, you have to stun them and just kind of run away or kill them off.
Another smoke up now.
Possible Roshan. Take the DDC kill.
That's an easy one for them, although they get the ward down now. And will be able to find the Lion. So he goes down, Roshan there.
No buyback on Lion, which matters in these games. Often you'll see supports just throw a buyback out in this kind of a scenario.
Meanwhile, the Earthshaker moving in yet again. They do have a Echo Slam available if they wanted to use it. They have that Shadow Blade out. The chase, though, they found themselves the Bat Rider still in the Roche pit. They're looking for the opening. The Echo Slam, it comes out, but Pycat gets the Aegis, and they are going to try and turn this now as they got the Sylar Weaver isolated.
Nice
He's caught there in the shards as well. They drop the time lapse. He chronos his whole team. Oh, that's the worst three-man chrono you'll ever see is VGJ.Thunder trying back out now. Sylar still in some trouble there, though. He gets the force tap to the other side of it, and, well, the Aeon Disc backing out yet again, and it looks like they are going to take down that DP. So it looked bad, but it still works.
Yeah, I mean, that was strategically perfect from OpTic. The decision-making there, the way they set up around the Roshan pit, they smoke in, they kill the Lion, they get the first pick, and then they set up for the Roche. And they're not just all in on the Roche. Zai makes a great call. The second he sees the Bat Rider on that cliff with his Observer Ward, the Bat's like, oh, they see me, I'm going to deward this. He just jumps in, chucks an urn on him, he prevents the Bat Rider from blinking in. So when Shaker goes in for that Roche contest, there's no Bat Rider. He's taken out of the fight thanks to the Tusk. So Earthshaker doesn't manage to kind of get the follow-up he needs. Weaver is getting controlled very well. Big misplay from Pycat, but you know, those chronos happen. Sometimes you're just going to airball one. Sometimes you're chronoing your team. Doesn't matter because they made such a good strategic play leading up to it that they could get away with a mistake like that and still come out on top with an Aegis, several kills, and they're looking a whole lot better all of a sudden.
Definitely. Testament to the fact that this is a lineup that's not just the Chronosphere. It's all the other parts that you got on it. And right now, a big part of that is going to be these 3/3 birds and Zai's sort of beginnings of initiations. It is an MKB on Weaver. They've got a lot of damage on the side of VGJ.Thunder.
Yeah.
And
Sal's kind of all in, not having buyback, but we'll see if that's going to affect VGJ. Visage still topping the net worth here, about to hit level 25. Scythe of Vice kicking in as well as his next big item pickup.
man, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
So bottom lane, pressuring in again. Weaver just TPs down there as well as OpTic. Feeling like they're close. Again, almost 25 on 3-3, not quite there.
They want to fight around this next chrono. See, it's one of those things, like, even if he gets 25, I don't know if you want to resummon right away because it puts it on cooldown. You'd almost rather just say, oh, I'm going to have 3 birds, and then after I use the stuns or after I lose a bird or two, you might resummon. He's got level 25 in the extra familiar, but I think you want to wait to make sure. If there's no fights for a little while, then yeah, you just summon, start resetting the cooldown, but he is going to not immediately use it.
And I wonder if OpTic, again, feeling pretty good about the way that this couple of minutes have gone, are going to try and push the tempo as the smoke does come out.
You betcha, yeah. That's exactly the call. Yang's kind of fireflying over the trees, seeing what's there, checking if there's any observer wards on those cliffs as well. But it's OpTic who may catch him by surprise. Oh, he just warded in plain sight, though.
Oh,
I say that he doesn't know that, but...
Right. Yeah, VGJ.Thunder realized, all right, there's somebody over there. We got to be careful. They blink out with DDC as well, and maybe some slow pressure going on the tower. The creep wave isn't there, though.
That ward just appears. You've got the sentry there. Luckily, VGJ.Thunder had the sentry with the op, so they see the ward getting planted, and that kind of reveals the smoke there, which is a bit unlucky for OpTic Gaming.
Definitely. Well, and DP now, also, you know, you've got this Solar Crest on Zai, or rather the Spirit Vessel on Zai, so could be a bit of an issue as well.
Yeah. Normally you see like a BKB or something on a Death Prophet, but opting for all these other armor items, defensive items to deal with the physical damage, which is probably the bigger threat than the Spirit Vessel. But Spirit Vessel will negate a lot of that healing. And here go OpTic looking to break through the Thunder base.
Yeah, and Fade, again, he can jump in on this one if he wants to, but it is so many creeps and everything else that he might just explode while he tries to go for it. Birds attacking the high ground. They've got the creeps there as well, the siege, and
it's
going to be a tier 3 down.
Yeah, let the birds do it. Don't commit any heroes here. Even though the carries are BKBs, they just don't want to do anything that's too dicey.
And they do have that resummon now if they want to use it.
Yep. Only 2 birds, so he might consider it. Get 2 down to 2. There we go. They're dewarding the vision of VGJ2. Now they can't jump the back.
They're thinking about it though. Yang looking for that opening.
Okay.
He's going to go for it. They have that Aeon though, ready to proc it, and, well, they draw him in, but don't deal the damage as of yet. There's the Hex to follow up. Pycat is able to find the Chronosphere. There's no Exorcism out at this point, but Pycat taking so much damage right now. He needs to time walk away from this one, but the Mask of Madness meant that he couldn't. Meanwhile, the Witch Doctor ultimate's starting to take down Freeze. He gets the Evil Scepter lift up. Echo Slam to turn it yet again, but Fade is gone. It's too much healing, too much survivability, and OpTic take down a lane of Rax.
Those birds just demolish them. The full lane of Rax claim there. Great positioning and play from OpTic, just putting the birds and the Visage on the front lines. He gets lassoed, but they don't care. He's got an Aeon Disc. When you're lassoing a hero that has an Aeon Disc, that's a serious problem, and they're not done.
Oh my god,
They
look
get
at
the
the
Hex.
damage coming out. It just completely dismantles VGJ, and now they've got the stuns. They got the catch. Sylar going to fall. Dead for 100 seconds, no buyback, and OpTic taking this game. My goodness. Do they need to leave at all?
They need to leave.
GG,
Yeah,
it's
they
over.
do need to leave. You're right. VGJ. They tap out, and they're on their feet. Quinn is feeling it after that one.
Oh, look at him. It's his new face.
They just took game 2, but I think they felt under a lot of pressure. You know, that early to mid game did not go according to plan. VGJ.Thunder definitely making a lot of the right moves there, but when it came down to it, OpTic play around the Roshan pit and some really good team fights, and just what a Visage. I mean, fight after fight, it felt like OpTic was losing 3, 4, 5 heroes. Visage was maybe like the lone stander, and he completely utilized all of that net worth, all the kills and farm he was getting to carry that game.
Well, a very impressive display there, coming back on OpTic on a Visage, not something that we often see, and
yeah,
I mean, they made it work. VGJ.Thunder going into the next one, how you feeling after that game? Because it felt like they not necessarily had it in the bag, but they were at least in the lead for a long period of time.
Yeah, it felt like game 1, you know, was the Terrorblade game. That's their plan A. Game 2, you know, it's the Death Prophet. This is plan B. We win with this hero all the time. Shouldn't be a problem. Didn't go according to plan. I don't think they'll be totally put off from it. I think they had like a Weaver 7-2-17, good score and all that. I just don't feel like the Weaver had a big impact here. So I think there were some other tweaks they can make. I think you still got to believe in your Death Prophets, your TBs, your standard heroes. But 1-1, we got a game 3. This is going to be a great BO5 series.
Absolutely. It's going to be an absolutely wonderful one. So stick around, everybody. Game 3 right after this. But first, we got to head back to the panel, see what they thought about that one.
OpTic tie the series 1-1 here in the grand finals at StarLadder ImbaTV Invitational, and that was a very scary Visage here with Tsunami Winter. And I must say, I thought, you know, I was keeping an eye on the game. I thought it was going to over in favor of VGJ.Thunder. That's what I thought. And then all of a sudden, there's a high-ground siege with the Visage birds, and the Rax just melt Winter.
Yeah, it was the Roche before that. They lost the Roche fight, buybacks expanded, but OpTic got the Roche. I think it started off with someone being picked off. Who was it? I think DDC. Yeah, DDC.
And he
he
didn't
died.
have buyback.
Didn't have buyback. Then they went into the Roche. They tried to contest. They placed a ward. Bad Rider's Blink got cancelled. Earthshaker went in. No follow-up.
Which, for what it's worth, Earthshaker
he played
on point.
amazing.
Every single. I mean, if that Echo Slam came out like a millisecond earlier, this game probably wouldn't be over right now, because it was just that close to being able to snatch the Aegis away. But unfortunately, they had nothing to do to burn through the Visage, and the Aeon Disc on top of that. Like, we didn't even see it get procced, I don't think. It was just consistently, the Gravekeeper's Cloak was all that he needed to survive.
Yep.
It's a hero that we don't see particularly frequently reach this stage of the game. And most of the time, like even Gods, a signature Visage spammer still had skepticism about Visage hitting the late game. And here we are with 25 4 familiars chewing through all the structures.
Oh, that one. And then that was over so fast.
0 to 100 real
Yep.
quick.
Yeah.
Like 33 hit the timing with the hero where he was so strong at that point with 4 familiars. I don't think VGJ.Thunder could have done anything to him at that point of the game. Like he felt like really underwhelming at that point. He wasn't really strong anymore. They didn't have good heroes at killing off the familiars. So he just like dominated the game from then on.
The start of the game was pretty interesting. We had a little bit of a try versus try mid lane with the Visage and the Death Prophet, with Void Bat and Razor Weaver matchups. You feel like that early game played out the way that the teams were hoping it would, because they came out fairly even. Was someone supposed to come out ahead?
I think it's OpTic Gaming knowing what the Visage was capable of, and VGJ.Thunder not knowing what the Visage was capable of.
All right.
Because initially it seemed like, I think both teams were happy with how things were going on early.
Yeah.
Because the side lanes were being won for VGJ.Thunder. The Weaver was not getting an exceptional amount done, but Batrider was doing just fine. Death Prophet was struggling in the mid lane, and OpTic was putting a great deal of effort on her.
Look at that siege damage.
Even at the end of the game, PPD gesturing towards 33 CCNC with the smile of a man who
Got carried.
Yes. They were very happy after that game.
Yeah. I mean, because it was all according to the master plan, because
Yeah.
this was all in the cards for OpTic Gaming, and they knew what this Visage was capable if he was able to hit these timings.
I mean, it was very close to not hitting the timing, so I
No,
must
yes,
say.
it was. It was all hinging on that one Roche
Yeah.
fight.
But still, they got away with the early game with the Visage though. Like Visage is really weak in the laning phase. That's why teams don't really pick him that much. You get abused in the lane easily, like especially when against a team that they play Broodmother, you don't really want to play pick Visage without having the absolute last pick. The Weaver there really, I still felt like he just ran out of gas, at the end of the game. Couldn't really do much to the birds.
I mean, that's the problem. The amount of lockdown early on wasn't really there on the side of OpTic, but it's not needed if you got birds later on. You got the 3 stuns coming out, and what's a Weaver gonna do? He will just die in that duration of disables.
Yeah, the entire idea of Weaver is to be hit and run, but that involves chipping down some sort of target and then returning into the fight. This is part of the reason why Slark isn't very popular these days, is because it's kind of difficult to have the luxury of engaging, disengaging, re-engaging, and not have the enemy team have sustain to be able to survive. You need to be able to stand and deliver. This is why Death Prophet is so incredibly popular.
This is the second fight that the Visage ended up surviving.
4v1.
4v1. He still managed
Just
to take
casual.
2 kills after
And
the
he
rest of
has
the teams
the
already
Eon
died.
disc at this stage, or I'm pretty sure he does, and it just doesn't pop. And Sylar is like, oh, I can take you under
He has a
this.
shrine even,
Yeah,
like,
fine even.
come at me, bro.
It's fine. You know what the saddest part about the first 2 games is? I feel like Earthshaker, both games, have like both Zai and Fade have done
Yeah.
so well in that hero, but he's still going to show us a 0% win rate.
A bit deceptive.
Very deceptive.
And so
Oh.
close, but that time lapse just at the very, very last second.
Sylar too quick on the fingers. I mean, at this point, VGJ.Thunder is still very far ahead. I mean, it seems
Well,
5K.
in terms of net worth.
In terms of 5K is not that much, but it felt like in terms of game sense, they were just in control. Let's put it that way. They were dictating the pace of the game.
Yeah. But Visage was level 24
Yeah, but
then.
their
and
heroes
then
are
Visage is
their
level
heroes are
25.
kind of like expiring, like the Weaver especially. Then the Death Prophet started to not feel that tanky anymore against the familiars. You can't really run in and do damage. I think the matchup is actually pretty good. Visage could be a good solution against DP in the future games if there's no
I
A.
mean, she got to make it through to in the draft.
Well, I think part of it is because DP got like no help, and Visage got a ton of help. It was pretty much only reactionary that whenever Death Prophet was getting shard blocked out of her.
I mean, it's not just about the lane though. It's just great in the game itself because DP you want to do damage close up to the enemy team, and against the Visage he has the cloak and he has a lot of physical damage against you. Even through the Aeon Disc he wasn't able to, like the last fight he just died after that.
But I mean, Exorcism Ghost, Spirit Siphon, you have a lot of ways to burn through the cloak in theory. But this game.
There's too much stuff though.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
Winter, at the start of the game, you were very skeptic of Freeze's Death Prophet. What's your final verdict on that?
Still not convinced though. I think that his momentum in the early game wasn't that great. He was playing more of like a connecting type of Death Prophet. He was coming like last. Connecting means like he's always just like, oh, something happens, I TP. Oh,
He
you
didn't
guys,
make things happen.
you guys fighting. Oh, I can TP. Instead of Sylar might be like, oh, guys, I have ulti. I am going to smoke right now. We are going here, we are taking the tower, and the enemy is TPing to react to you. That's a huge difference of how both of them play. That was why I was like, oh, if Sylar is not on DP, then I'll be, I don't know.
You need to set a high tempo, I guess, in a game like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a Death Prophet can do that with the right captain, I guess. Not this game, though, but we are going to a third game. It's a best of 5, so now at least 2 more games, maybe 3, depending on how the rest of the series goes. We'll be right back after this break.